I was at the Carson Animal Shelter getting another dog, and then I saw Walter as I was about to leave. They called me over and said, like, hey, you got to see this dog. His owners just said that they were, quote unquote, moving, and that was their reasoning for surrendering him to the shelter. At this point, like, I was just fostering Walter under a rescue. I took him to the vet, and one vet, again, said, like, he was just born differently. They didn't really give me a name. They didn't know what it was. So I took him to another vet, and we did notice he had, like, cloudy eyes. So she recommended that we see an ophthalmologist. And so the ophthalmologist told me that she's seen this condition in the eyes is very rare. So she actually helped me get the testing done at the University of Pennsylvania for a disease called mucopolysaccharidosis, also known as MPS. It's a terminal disorder. It's progressive, and it does cause, a shortened life along with other issues. So with Walter, he had all the, classical signs of it. I was crushed. I'm like, here, I rescued this dog, and then now he may not live very long. And so it was in that moment, I'm like, he needs to stay with me. I adopted him. We got the test results back, and, he tested positive. No vet around here that I know of has ever seen MPS in a dog because it's so rare. But luckily, our vet, a very dedicated group of vets, they all took, care of Walter. He couldn't bend down like a normal dog to drink water, so he had to drink it out of raised cups and dishes. Sometimes he needed to be syringed some water. He had lung issues. He had heart issues, heart enlargement. He had eye issues. It also caused stunted growth. So you have a buildup of this enzyme, and it wreaks havoc on the whole body, everything from the bones, the muscle, the tendons, the ligaments, everything. I kept focusing on the end outcome, that he was going to die. That thought nonstop in my head. But then I started watching him, how he enjoyed life every morning. Like, he loved going outside to listen to the marching band and sitting in the sun and the grass. And I just saw how simply peaceful his life was.
What? Go back to business.
He reminded me a lot of my dad, who had multiple sclerosis and died when I was younger. But he was always positive, had a great outlook on life. And Walter reminded me a lot of him.
Go, marching man.
It was in that moment, I already had kind of shared him on social media because people were curious about this dog, and how he was doing. And so I created the All About Walter page, and I started sharing our story, his daily adventures. And slowly but surely, people kept messaging me saying, I have a dog that looks like Walter. And slowly and surely, we're finding all these dogs all over the United States. And, we were able to spread so much joy. People just fell in love with him. So Walter loved French bread. I'd always be baking, and he'd be barking up a storm. Same thing with green beans. He loved green beans. He loved all things soft. So if I happened to leave a towel on the floor, he would go wander and curl up in it. But he mostly loved being with me and right next to me and cuddled up. He did so much in his short life. He educated his vets. His cardiologist was studying his heart and the changes of this disease. The whole vet hospital that he went to got more experience with this firsthand, and we were able to find others and help them. And so Walter gave so much. I wish he knew how much he did for people and animals. Walter, he ended up dying on Valentine's Day 2016. I took it as a really big sign. He died on the day of love, and so I had him from 2014 to 16. So I adopted Winslow a few months after on May 4th of 2016. I looked for another MPS dog, and I gave up because I couldn't find another one. And then my friend alerted me there's this other dog that looked like Walter at the shelter. Walter passed away actually right next to me, and Winslow died in my arms a few years later. Somebody else let me know about another dog that was in Texas that had MPS. And so then I rescued that dog in June of 2019, Benji. He passed away in 2021. For me, going through it with Walter and having the anticipatory grief, once I got past that, it was such a bumpy road. And in the end, after Walter passed, I immediately thought, I would do this again. And then after Winslow, I do this again. Even if, at some point I can't adopt him myself, but I already have an MPS dog, I will find somebody else who will give them the same amount of love and care that I did. This is just, it's heartbreak, but it's 100% worth it. I would do it every single day of my life.